Thumbs up.
Right on.
Okay.
Good evening. It is now 4 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I would ask for roll call. Councillor Webster.
Present.
Councillor Humphreys.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
Present.
And we do already have regrets from Councillor Carew. As we gather here today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for the many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken the care of this land for thousands of years. Do we have any declaration of pecuniary interest? None being heard. Confirmation of council agenda.
That council adopt the agenda for the November 2nd, 2021 regular council meeting.
Moved by Councillor Webster. Second by Councillor Humphreys. Councillor Humphreys.
In favor.
Councillor Webster.
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Minutes of the previous meeting. Councillor Webster.
In favor.
Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor.
Councillor Humphreys.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Any business arising from the minutes? None being heard. I've asked Councillor Humphreys to take Chair Carew's planning committee tonight. Councillor Humphreys.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. Yes, in the package 8.1.1, the building report, September 2021, on page 6. Looks like we're chugging along there. Yeah. If there's any questions on that, it's pretty straightforward. It's nice to see them up that much. You know what, our goal might be 10 million on this year. Be really nice to see the value of the permits. We got 2 months left. So anyway, is any questions on that building report? If not, we'll go ahead to I welcome Lisa and Bob J to the meeting. Thank you for joining us. You snuck in without having my head down. So that on 7.1-2 consent file for Fred Hasman, Debbie Shepherd. It's page 7 of your package. And I'll turn over to Nikki DeVoe, the author, on this, please.
Okay, so the recommendation is that the planning committee and council approve consent B55/21 for Fred Hansma and Debbie Shepherd upon the following conditions being met: a registered plan of survey. So as everybody could see from the package, that this is a lot addition. So it's going to a neighboring property. One thing I did want to note is that the county has changed their consent process since Bruce Howarth has taken over. So he's trying to do kind of more streamlined and kind of everything more electronic. So with that being said, there are some changes in the process. So I don't know if council wants to invite Bruce and maybe Alana as a delegation so they can go through the new process and explain it better. Because as of right now, this report from the county is we get it after I've submitted all of the documentation to the county. So this is kind of the last leg of the process now, whereas before it was in the first initial steps.
Thank you.
We certainly need to have them down here so everybody on council and planning committee can understand what the process is now. And if we do have issues with it, how quickly we can get the word back to them, that take a very close look at this. So I would suggest that would be a very positive move. And I think it'd probably be a more positive move as we move forward to having in-person meetings, so we can really grasp what's happening. And I believe that's happening at county level for the 1st of January going forward. And but there is not confirmation of that yet, but I think that's going to happen, and that would work well for us, and we would be able to ask the question, understand the answers.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Bennett. It looks like there's any questions from committee, like any ideas from the public committee on this, what Nikki's just spoke about. Yeah, I find it really streamlined because they seem to do all the work, but it's the time frame, eh? So, because it's, they've gone through the Bell and the hydro and the county, and it's like they have all that stuff, access it very quick and easy. So I agree, we should have them down here to see what their procedure is. So, what the thoughts are from the committee. Yes, Bob, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
There we are. Sorry.
Thank you. Yes, no problem.
I recently have gone through this process with Redford County, assisting a friend who lives up in the Deep River area.
Yeah.
It's a pretty easy process to do it. It's just that it's very time consuming for everybody involved.
Mm.
And Alana, as you spoke about, is very helpful in this. I agree with Mayor Bennett that it would be a good idea to have a in-person meeting, explain the whole process to her, to us, and go from there.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay.
Any other, yes,
I agree the same thing as Bob
Yeah.
Cassidy, that we should have them down here and go through the process in person instead of this. I'm like half this stuff that's now to me.
can't hear you very well, Bob. You're frozen.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes.
Well,
You're-
like
we
I said,
lost
I
you there
can
for
only
a
get
minute.
the second word, but that you guys are saying, I don't know what's the matter with my computer or the system or whatever, but I'm just getting
Yeah.
pieces here and there.
But it'd be nice to do it in person, Bob, right?
That's right. I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
Thank you. Councillor Webster.
This question's out to Nikki. How did you find that new process? Are we understanding it, or what's your thoughts on that?
Maybe Hope could talk to this a little bit more. She's had more experience. So I'm used to the original way. So it was a lot of back and forth, but now it starts off with us and we have to submit our information before we even have like any information from the county. As like if they need any studies done, like a geotechnical or anything like that, we don't know. Unless they have done a general inquiry. In that case, I will pull what we have received and kind of go through that. But there are some that, other than the 3 normal conditions that we have, those are kind of what I go off of.
And if I could just add, so Nikki nailed it. The only other thing I would add is that it puts more of the onus on the township to provide comments prior to getting the information from the county in their municipal report. So we do our best, but at the same time, we don't have those planning capabilities. We don't have a planner on staff. We don't have the layers in GIS that they also have. So that was just a concern that Nikki and I expressed to one another, that I would like hopefully Bruce and Alana and the county representatives come and explain that process to us, to know that, we don't necessarily want to be responsible for an issue in an application because we're not registered planners. So hopefully we can address that in the near future.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions for, on this application? Your thoughts? Like, we always seem, the township just seems to rubber stamp, you know, once the county gets going, but if we have to do more work ahead of time, it'll take a little more time than the opposite way for sure. So maybe it will be streamlined down the road. So any other questions on this part of the agenda? If not, we can move on to the next one. It's the minute site plan for Derek McCrimmon and Jennifer Shola, page 19 of your package. Just have to bear with me. It's the first time I've done Lane's work here. He's more familiar with this and stuff. So, Councillor Carew. So I guess I'll turn that over to Nikki also. Can give us a little bit more detail on that. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah. So we have been approached by Mr. McGrimmon. He is looking to add 2 additional 40 by 100 self-storage buildings. So you can see there on his sketch of where they're going. So this is just updating his site plan and going through and dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
Okay. He's going to have quite a few buildings out there in total, isn't he? Any questions from the Deputy Mayor Campbell?
So this meets all our setbacks as far as the borders on the front and back lots for buildings?
It looks like it is. Nikki, you can answer that question if you don't mind.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Thank you.
So any other questions on McCrimmon and Shola's addition? A lot of, I guess it's really 2 building permits that really in a change of their site planning, as far as I can read. Well, if not, there's no more questions on that one. We'll turn it back over to you, Mayor Bennett.
Thank you, Councillor Humphreys, and welcome, and thanks for coming, Planning Committee. Your input is very valuable to us, and we thank you for taking the time, and we hope to be in person very shortly. So we don't have to look at the top of Mr. Johnson's. We can actually see his face.
Well, I hope we get it in person because my internet connection is terrible. Like I'm only getting half of what you're saying. So I know I'm getting a new computer. I have it sitting out in the other table. I don't know if it's my computer or go Zoom, but I don't want to be sitting and doing this stuff for another year. That's for sure. Jeez.
Thank you. And a good job, Councillor Campbell, for looking after that. Or sorry.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Bob Cassidy, Bob Johnson.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move forward to Transportation and Environmental Services. Councilor Chair Webster.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. Yeah, so page 23 of our package, you'll see the council committee report for tests. And I'm sure we've all had lots of time to read it. So I just, any questions in regards to this? Yeah, Councillor Humphreys.
Yeah, just the one question about the surplus truck. You decided to keep, I just noticed you're deciding to use it for towing the trailer around from mowing the lawn and used it at the waste management site. It was also used by the students last summer, wasn't it? The extra truck?
That is correct. It was used by the students, but there's also the other thing is we had paid one of our employees personal money for using his personal vehicle. Yeah. And as a committee, we didn't feel that was proper for liability, everything else wise. Yeah. So that's why we're retaining the truck to eliminate that. And then it goes into a township owned truck.
Yeah. No, I understand fully. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Is there,
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Humphries.
sorry for that. I just noticed this, the Dougal Road, any idea, well, how much work will the MTO do to help us reroute that road? Like,
Actually, that may, I can bring that up tomorrow. We have a test meeting tomorrow morning.
okay,
But by all indications, there, all the correspondence that I've seen, they're more than willing to help us out with everything.
bring it up
Well,
to,
Yeah, but there hasn't been any negative comments or anything coming forward from their side in towards this.
I just saw the sketches for the connecting link down to from Miller Road down to McLean Drive, and it's a very similar service road. I don't know how they're going to change to, it'll have to be at township level or even better if it was county level for the ditching and stuff. It's going to be quite a little turn and dip down through that wetlands that Tommy Reed. So I just questioning that, how much we're going to deal with the MTO on that. So
Yeah, there was a little chunk of property that's being changed of hands because of this new roadway that's going out there.
yeah.
But other than that, I think it's all positive from the MTO on our side. And maybe Mayor Bennett, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the MTO is responsible to, it'll be above what we see there today by all means. And they do have the wetland to deal with. And they do have the entrances, which will be paved back probably a considerable amount from where they are. I would say maybe 500 feet from the main road because they're on a ramp there. So they'll look after all that. There will be no expenditure to the municipality whatsoever.
Super. Thank you.
Great. Deputy Mayor Campbell, I seen your hand up.
Yes, it's just the Johnson Road speed limit adjustment. Just wondering what the committee's thought process is there.
Okay, so knowing ahead, we're talking about tomorrow, it's on our agenda tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair.
Nothing's coming forward, but as I understand it, I don't think we meet all the criteria. So, but it's still at the committee level at this time.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
I'm just going to give that job to Deputy Mayor Campbell, pick the speed signs up.
Spray paint, missed it by a night. So
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any other questions, comments? I just want to emphasize how this committee, like, we have great discussions, and if you ever have a chance to come down and sit in one, you'll hear lots of views and going on that I'm really happy the public comes in because it opens my eyes to a lot of things. Different way they look at things coming forward, but yeah, our committee is very, very helpful for this. If that's everything, I'll pass it back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. Great job, Chair Webster. Just to say that the test committee is well informed beforehand, so we know exactly what we have to speak about. So we have a good warning of what we're going to talk about. That's why there's so much input, because they all do the research before they come forward at committee level. Community committees and county council, Renfrew area senior home support.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Bennett. The Renfrew area senior home support, going to have our first meeting in person on November the 19th. It's sort of nice that we hear Marion Innes doing her weekly reports on the senior home support on Heritage Radio. And it's what she's giving you is really good happening and resources that are available from this home support. Everything from frozen meals to tax help to driver's appointments, and a lot of support for a lot of different items that people really need as seniors age in their own homes. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm glad to be getting back in person to see that and to meet the other directors in person. So anyway, it's chugging along, and I say we've got some good people on that committee, and I'm looking forward to working with them. So thank you, Mayor Bennett.
Thank you. Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. I'm sure we've all received the email with regards to the surveys that have been sent out to Horton, Nabaston, Brumley, Greater Madawaska, McNabb, Braeside, Renfrew, Town of Arnprior, and Township of Whitewater. You get a first look at the survey list, the questions, and you can see some of them, how many have already participated. And I guess they're saying it's not a race or a test. It's just the first kick of the cat for getting the information out, getting it to as many groups as we feel necessary, and then condensing it and seeing what subjects are to be highlighted for each area, and to help each of the 7 participants. I'm not sure, Hope, if you have anything more to add.
No,
So-
I think you hit it. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, if you do a read through for the questions, they're very basic questions, and if you get a chance to look through, again, the surprise they're saying is they'll put out the questions to see, and then they'll condense it down to 3 or 4 topics, and they said you'll be surprised at what the concerns are in each of the 7 participant areas. So I'm not sure how long it'll take to collect this data, but as it comes forward, and I know Patrick Finnegan has been trying to get this out and online. So I believe it is mostly online, as Hope has indicated. So as this continues to grow, we'll let you know, and at least we have something now to report. Thank you, Mayor Bennett.
Thank you. Health Service Village, there has been no meetings on for in person. However, we are, there's lots of action going on behind the scene. Nothing I can report on because it's not concrete yet, but the Health Service Village is working to come up with some kind of solution that will work for the municipalities, and work for the hospital, and work for the people of the community. Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Humphries.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Bennett. Yeah, we had our awards night a week ago, or 10 days ago. It was nice to be back in person. It was a smaller scale at the Mattaway Park. Awards night was great. And with ProTire, the outstanding business who's located in Horton Township, made me feel sort of good, because we are in the surrounding area of Renfrew again. And then Ken Delabo was Citizen of the Year too, for all the work he does with hospice and RVH and stuff. So anyway, it was a great night, and it was so nice to see people in person, and it was streamed on YouTube, but we had about 75 people there. So we could have a bit more, but the people are still nervous yet, and it was well organized, so it was enjoyable. So we're on and upward to the next year. Thank you, Mayor Bennett.
Thank you, Councillor Humphries. And thank you for doing a great job of representing our municipality at the chamber. County Council, you all received the total county package. Is there any questions that I could answer after the read of the County Council? Okay, I do have one thing to report. The winter games are now scheduled to go ahead. Some of the spring, what are they? Spring, summer games, I guess. But I do have to leave you to know that there was a recorded vote taken, and I did not, as a representative of the Township of Horton, did not vote to move them ahead. There's considerable doubt of where we're going with them, and how much onus we're actually putting on our police service, and putting on our emergency services, that I could not honestly kind of vote to go ahead with the games at the presentation we got at county council without seeing a lot more information. There was a considerable amount that voted to go ahead, so because there was a majority vote, but there was a considerable amount that did not vote for them to move forward, but the majority, that's where we are. So if you do hear any comments that I wasn't supporting them, I wasn't supporting the decision without knowing where we're headed to begin with, is where we're at, and how much onus it was really putting on our healthcare workers to be, because a lot of this had to be moved to Ottawa instead of Renfrew County to happen, because Renfrew County couldn't handle it, but during COVID. And but transportation is one place that nobody in Renfrew County would fight onto the transportation because of all the rules and the shortage of drivers. Nobody, a lot of the venues that were in Renfrew County would not open the doors to bringing that many people into Renfrew County. So part of it is down in the city of Ottawa. I did not feel comfortable with it. I felt that we should have waited our turn for the next time, not the next time around because it's already scheduled, but waited the 4 years to be able to put everything on within Renfrew County, and but majority rules. So but when you hear that I did not support it, that is the truth. Councillor Humphries.
Yes, Mayor Bennett, I knew a big situation was, one, accommodations, which there's none in this area, and two is the transportation cost and insurance cost. I like it's too big a program, and sort of like the plowing match. It takes so much good weather and healthy weather, and it's a big commitment for these. And I say, with what's going on, I don't, I say the cost is going to just keep going up and up and up. If we had to get buses to come from Kingston because our own school bus lanes have no drivers, it's going to add more to the cost. Plus, driving to accommodations from Calabogie to Canada or Ottawa, it's just not feasible. So I thought it should have been canceled a long time ago, to be honest with you, put on hold or something. So anyway, that's all I have, Mayor Bennett.
Okay, thank you. Anything else on what are going on the game? Okay, thank you. Correspondence. Deputy Mayor Campbell, you want to take that from here?
Certainly, Mayor Bennett. I guess I'll talk on item number 6, seeing as we're talking, outdoor and travel. So again, we see where the agreement between Pembroke and Township of Laurentian Valley to allow motorized vehicles through for the trail, and we can see the growth of the trail, and as far as where we're going from a 20 kilometer to a 31 kilometer in the near future, from Cobden right up through and down as far as Smith Falls, like much later. But again, recreation, getting out, it's when it first came out, and I thought, well, we're losing a rail system that we, in my opinion, could not use. It was going to put more traffic on the roads, but as soon as that has gone by and everybody's adapted, this is certainly a great secondary use of the trail, and the commitment throughout the municipalities that it travels through. So it's good to see, and for a multi-use activity, and be interested to see how they're going to, police it or govern it. Have you any feedback from the county on that, Mayor Bennett, for how they govern that or police it?
The county is actually doing an excellent job of policing the trails. And they're certainly very quick at addressing any complaints. If they had this summer, there was dust issues, and within 48 hours, the dust issues were looked after. There's very little abuse of the system and speed is obviously sometimes there's always the odd one going very fast, but the county has everything under control, and they have two people that work most of the time upgrading it and making it safer to use and how it's looked after. So there is really no issues that are not addressed as quickly as possible. The only time that it becomes a little bit sticky is weather conditions and how they can actually get the stone dust down, and there's issues, but like any construction, there's issues. So, but they do look after it very well.
Well, it's interesting to see even just locally in town where you're either seeing people walking it on bicycle, ATV, or even horse and buggy. You don't know what's coming down any of the trails down through. So it certainly is a four-season multi-use trail that end and that part will be putting forth. And I know GP Splinter has the next leg of the trail up there, and I know they're well versed and have a great group of people up there, and some of the shiniest trucks are going to drive by. So again, it is great to see, and once it gets going and we get back to normal, I think you'll see a lot of secondary things pop up through all municipalities. So.
I agree with that. What's going to start popping up is the service industries that can benefit from the trails. We have very limited unless we get into urban, like even Renfrew itself, it's very limited where they can actually get into the restaurants and everything. But that'll be made accessible to them as they move forward.
Right. Because even in the last part of that, it's surprising, just snowmobilers alone. So when the snowmobiles hit the trails, but now we have ATVs and side-by-sides. When a group of 50, 60, or 100 sleds pull up to one spot to fuel up with fuel in a town, and once the restaurants and everything are open and hotels and accommodations, there's a lot of tourism and a lot of money being changed and turned over in even the smallest of towns, let alone like the Pembrokes and Petawawas. So it's certainly a huge punch in the arm for economic development. That is all I have, Mayor Bennett.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Webster.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. The AMO policy update. Always positive news coming out of there. Moving ahead, seeing the deficiencies we have, and always forging ahead to see these policies coming out. And it's all positive news there. The Algonquin Trail, as Deputy Mayor said, that's great news. I've heard a few times this week alone, people have traveled it, gone up as far as they could, and they can't wait to get it finished, but they're looking forward to it. But what they have so far has been positive feedback to us. And then the only other one is the butter tarts. Sorry, I don't know how to make them, and I don't know the ingredients, and I don't know any churners, but any information would be great.
We can guarantee you know how to eat.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Councillor Humphreys.
Thank you, Mayor Bennett. Yes, maybe Councillor Webster can get a job judging the butter tarts. You'll be all set. No, with Deputy Mayor Campbell bringing up the Algonquin Trail, and you see two little new fast foods there in the mall, really close to the trail now, and that's going to be handy for them just to deke off. They get gas on one side of the little strip mall, and then get something to eat on the far side, and it will help Renfrew as it goes through, and it hopefully it'll help Horton to generate some stuff this way in the coming time. The only other thing I noticed with the webinar for Peter Kenyon. And I know Mayor Medit and we saw him in person at Calabogie Peaks on the teeny tiny summit. He's a wonderful speaker. So if you have time to pop on the webinar at December 1st at 10 a.m., he'll really open your eyes to a lot of things. He's a guy from Australia. He's worked in Canada. He's a great friend of some of the senators, and I've heard him twice now, and he's a wonderful speaker. And it's called the Bank of Ideas, and he will enlighten you for a good time. So anyway, if you have time to do that. The other thing, that I saw an article in the Eganville Leader and the Renfrew Mercury that the Horton Community Center was getting the tennis club's chain link fence from the Renfrew Mattaway Park and using it for around our rink, which is nice to hear. So it's sort of nice to see there's articles written about our fire chief having a fire and also what's going on at the community center. So it was a good read in last week's Leader. So thank you, Mayor Bennett.
Okay, and we do need to thank the town of Renfrew for considering us to get the chain link fence in the post. And the reason that was not discussed very heavily at council was the fact that we had to wait for Renfrew to settle the issues that they had before we could go ahead with it. And that has now been settled, and staff from both municipalities are now working together to look after removing it and bringing it out during the winter, and it'll be definitely a community project to help put it back up next year.
I knew that they had some delays with the tennis club getting things sorted out. So thank you.
But they've got there. So okay, that's about all I have, other than to Councillor Humphreys forgot to mention the Ottawa Valley Business News, because that's usually his go-to. But there is a good read in there and some good figures. So just whenever you have time, take a look at what's actually in there and where some of the jobs are being created, and about how many are actually being created. When you look, they're not really being created. They're being replaced back to normal. But it's nice to see that they have bodies that are actually fulfilling the commitment of going back to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Action correspondence, we don't have any. Bylaws, McGrimmon, Shola. Want to take that? Who's taking that, Nikki?
No, that council enact the following bylaw 2021-54 McGrimmon and Cholet site plan amendment agreement.
Do I have a mover? Councillor Humphreys. Second by Councillor Webster. Any comments on the bylaw? Deputy Mayor Campbell.
In favor?
Councillor Humphreys.
In favor.
Councillor Webster.
In favor?
And I'm in favor. Notice to file a motion for the next council meeting? None, right? Council and staff members' concerns. None? Motion for reconsideration, debate on motion only. Councillor Humphreys.
Sorry about that, Mayor Bennett. I just want to remind everybody that the Remembrance Day service is at the community center on, staff concerns. But I mean, it's also November, Sunday at 2 o'clock. So hope to see everybody there. Thank you.
Thank you. And we do have to, Bruce and Bert have taken the lead to put that together along with Amanda, and they've done an excellent job of putting something together, and hopefully by this time next year we're back to being able to do what everybody used to do. Motion for reconsideration. None. Resolutions, Hope.
That council accept the September 2021 building report as information.
Moved by. Oh, I gotta have last names anyway. Counselor Humphries,
In
second
favor,
by Counselor Webster. Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
Counselor Webster,
Favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
and I'm in favor.
That the planning committee and council approve consent application B5521, Fred Hansma and Debbie Shepherd upon the following condition being met, a registered plan of survey.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Campbell, second by Counselor Webster. Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
Counselor Webster,
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
I'm in favor.
That council agrees to support amending the site plan agreement with J&K Storage, Jarek McGrimmon and Jennifer Sholay to permit 2 40-foot by 100 feet self-storage buildings.
Moved by Counselor Humphries, second by Deputy Mayor Campbell, Counselor Webster,
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
and I'm in favor.
That council accept the Transportation and Environmental Services Committee Chair's report as information.
Moved by Counselor Webster, second by Counselor Humphries. Counselor Webster,
Favor?
Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
and I'm in favor.
That upon recommendation from the test committee, council agree to retain the Western Plow and 2013 GMC Sierra 3500 series pickup truck, and that the plow and truck be retained until it's deemed unfeasible to maintain, and at that time, both the plow and truck shall be deemed surplus. Further, that a portion of the resolution 2021-92 be rescinded, which states that once the XLS plow is installed, a straight blade Western plow currently fitted to truck 11, the 2013 series GMC Silverado be deemed surplus and sold on gov deals with the proceeds directed back into the roads equipment reserves.
Mover. Counselor Humphries, second by Deputy Mayor Campbell. Counselor Webster,
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
and I'm in favor.
That council receive the reports for community committees and county council as information.
Moved by Counselor Webster. Second by Counselor Humphries. Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
Counselor Webster,
Favor?
Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
and I'm in favor.
That council accept the CAO clerk's information memo for November 2nd, 2021.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Campbell, second by Counselor Humphries. Counselor Webster,
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
Counselor Humphries,
in favor,
and I'm in favor.
That council went into a closed session meeting at 4:44 PM to discuss the following items pursuant to section 239(2)C of the Municipal Act, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, concession 7, part lot 13, Township of Horton.
Mover. Deputy Mayor Campbell, second by Counselor Webster. Counselor Webster,
In favor?
Deputy Mayor Campbell,
In favor?
Counselor Humphries,
in favor,